So it was a lightning strike a couple of days before out the back. I can remember saying to you, I think that that's a real worry. Like everything is set up. It started right at the other end of the national park, like on the Monero side, but the winds were blowing this way. And even there's a lot of smoke, but the authorities didn't seem to understand the significance of it. And how could you really? Well, no one could understand. We could see the smoke in the distance, and knowing the terrain, I knew it was going to be big, but I just didn't know how big. I knew in my mind what we had to do. I'd been setting it up for a week or more with firefighting units on the back of the ute and on the back of the trailer. We've got gravity fed and 40,000 litres of water up on the hills. I made sure all the tanks were full. And the fire captain came that day and said, if anybody's going to make it, you are, mate. You're so well set up. So that day, we were preparing, we wet everything down, we hosed everything. The place was saturated. It's about 11 o'clock and we thought, well, go to bed. And I'm looking out there in the distance and I'm thinking, why is the sky got this glow about it? We walked up on the hill there with a mate who was staying down at the old house here, and I just said, this is not right. This is bigger than we think. And next minute, so I guess it's about midnight, the glow hit the top of the hill and it got into some of those trees, and then there's this bright orange spot, just one spot like that. And I went, wow, look at that, that's coming. And Helen says, there's something going on down here. There's something down the valley. It's red, it's orange, because we couldn't see it, there was so much smoke. And you couldn't see, it was dark at night, and 3:30 in the morning. Next minute, the spot just went right along the whole mountain in like a minute. And it was because it's coming up from the valley up to the top of the hill, see, and it's caught the trees on fire. And then it was like a volcano. It was just 100 metres above the mountain with all these fireballs and embers just coming over the mountain for 5 k's, I reckon. We're out here because the fire front's coming this way, and we could hear it. There was a jet engine roaring and that 80-kilometre wind. Helen's going, what about the sheep? And I said, don't worry, just get inside. The sheep cooked right there, right in front of us. I went to jump out of the car and it was just a wall. It's an inferno. It's in the top of the trees. The embers are coming straight at us, like right angles. I think that's when I burnt my eyes, but I don't know. There was so much adrenaline. The heat was intense. I don't know how I didn't get burnt. It's God. So at this time, so the front's gone through. My phone rings, and it's Leah, who's at my sister's. So this is about 4 o'clock in the morning.
We had buckets, we had water, everything set up. We had sprinklers set up. It was about 4 a.m. and I was looking out the window and I was thinking, what is that? And I could just see a glow, like just a short orange glow. So I jumped out of bed, put my boots on, still in my pajamas, jumped the barb fence, and the whole paddock in front of us was on fire. So ran back into the house, put jeans on, then I'm out the front with a hose, and then that's when that 80-kilometre wind hit. Like burning branches falling around us, and I just looked at Aunty and said, there is no way, like you have to run, like just run. And she just sat there and went, all right, run. So we sprinted back into the house with embers just coming into the house with us, grabbed my car keys, wallet, phone and the dogs.
Yeah. Jumped in our car and we just flew. We were lucky to survive. Wow. Like there was burnt holes in my shirt that I was wearing that night. You look in the rear vision mirror and you can just see another shop there, house there. Yeah. Like it's just spotting all around you. I don't know how it didn't hit the road. We were stuck in Burmese for 2 days, in and out of contact with mum and dad. I didn't shed a tear until I got back with them. Like it was just that sort of fight. Like you sort of go into survival mode. We need to check our animals to see if they're
alive or burnt. This is about 6 o'clock in the morning. The sun had come up and I couldn't see. I said to my mate, he's still with me, and I'm going, what's going on? It's so blurry. Is it the smoke? I had no pain at that time. I said, is it just the smoke or what? And he says, no, it's not the damn smoke. What's wrong with you? You can't see. And I'm going, I can't, it's just blurry.
And we'd already had a phone call from somebody else down the other end of the valley asking me to go down and shoot some cattle and sheep of theirs that had been burnt. So we just did it. And then at that point we didn't know that Timmy's brother and father had died.
And so we just started doing it, but as we drove down that road there, they were everywhere. Most of them were dead. Like we shot the ones that were obviously alive.
Every single one.
And then we just kept going, and they were like a big S of cattle on the ground. And by that time, I was in agony, and I had trouble seeing. And I was running out of bullets. I'd run out of ammunition. We'd shot that many, and that was enough to do your head in anyway. And I said, I can't do it. I've got to go to hospital. They had to bandage me up, like put a blindfold on, and had to leave it for 2 days. And we're still not knowing where Leah is. So then we spent the next day trying to find Leah and Gail and just be together.
As soon as I saw Mum, as soon as I saw Dad with the blindfolds, I just lost it.
Yeah.
Like, just completely lost it. And then we got home.
Yeah.
So we're all together, and that was huge. We had to start thinking about water, so we went down to fill up at the river, at the bridge where there's a water hole there, and filling up, realising, hang on, what's all these fish and eels floating around on top of the water, and how can that be, and why is that happen? Like, there's this big hole of water and they were dead. And so that's when you start realising that the simple things in life are no longer there, no longer available, and that doesn't resolve itself overnight. So what you think might be resolved won't be for months. So there's a lot of people like us who rely on not town water or even tank water is going to be a problem, is on rivers. All our livestock, if we had any left, rely on that, but it's just not there. Just that simple thing in life is not there anymore. It'll be months. Yep.
Yeah. Even with the rain.
Even with the rain. We have to be kind and patient to one another, and for those people who haven't been affected, they need to be kind and patient too, and understanding that there's people grieving and who have nothing. It's not over. Far from it.